We get to talk to you about something that is really exciting and important. Okay, so I want, you can ask me questions when I'm done, or if I ask you to participate, then you can talk. So I do have a question. By a show of hands, how many of you have had a friend of yours introduce you to someone else and that person became your friend? That's kind of fun, isn't it? Yeah, I am looking at some faces in this room and I wasn't friends with you before, but then I got to be friends with you because a friend of mine introduced me to you. And that is how I met Jesus. I know. And then you got to come to my house, but you were my friend. And then because of you, I got to make more friends.
When I was a baby, I would chase your dog around.
That's also a true story, but not relevant. So let's stick to the point, okay? So when I was a little girl, I had someone special in my life introduce me to Jesus. And I got to go to church and I got to know him. And I said that I wanted him to be my forever friend. So I got to know him. But it wasn't until I was older that I realized, so this friend of yours that you met and became friends with, did you only get to play with that friend when your other friend was there? Or did you just start being friends with them?
Start being friends. I sometimes only see her at school. That's the only place.
But you still get to be friends. And you don't need the other person to be friends with them. And see, this was one of the things that when I got a little bit older, I realized that my relationship with God was kind of dependent on my friend that introduced me to him. Because that friend was the one who brought me to church and would tell me stories. And then I kind of got to realize, you know what? I can be friends with Jesus myself. I can talk to him myself. I can spend time with him by myself. Whenever I want to, I don't need my other friend there to be friends with him. And that is when, for me, I really became where I got to know Jesus even better, is when I started taking the initiative to get to know him and talk to him. And that was, I mean, by your standards, I was old. I was like, probably 19.
Ooh.
I know. But the beautiful thing, do you understand that? So like, you come to church because your mom and dad bring you. You come here because a friend invited you. But you don't only have to come because a friend or a parent is bringing you. You can talk to Jesus whenever you want. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very, very big.
Yeah.
Is this filming?
I don't know.
Can it hear me?
So I just want you guys to know that you can pursue him. You can know him. You don't need anybody else to do that for you. It's your own relationship with him. How many of you talk to Jesus? Yeah. You can get out your own Bible. Who has their own Bible? How many of you read it all by yourself without anybody saying, you should read your Bible today. You should talk to Jesus today. That's what I'm talking about.
I read Bible before I went here.
Yeah, that's cool. So that's how I came to know Jesus. That's my story. Okay, any questions?
I read the Bible when I was 3.
No. All right, who's next? You next?
Liz.
I'll do mine last, and that way you can wait and you won't be distracted by the tube.
All right. So my story started when I was young, like you guys. I went to Awanas when I was a little girl. My parents would drop us off, my sisters and I. Yep, when I was little, there was Awanas.
Not when I was little.
Oh dear.
So my parents would take me to Awanas, and we'd go to Awanas, and then I'd go to Sunday school, and it wasn't until I was probably 10 years ago when I truly felt that I had a relationship with Christ myself. So when I went to Awanas and stuff when I was little, it was kind of like my parents were just dropping me off, and it was the thing that I should do, because my parents wanted me to go. But not until 10 years ago was it when I really felt that I had a true relationship with God.
Then you should be 10.
Nope, I wasn't 10.
How old are you? 5. 3.
How old do you think I am?
Wait, I don't know. 2. She's 40.
I am 40.
85?
Ding, 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 you
She
got it.
just told you that. No?
Nope, she does. So it was when I was about 30, when I truly felt like I had a relationship with God, and I had Him in my heart, and I was talking to Him more than when I was little. So see, everyone has a different story, and it's okay.
It's Liz's turn and then her turn.
What?
I'm excited to be like David so you can get up early and run.
How do you know?
Because my dad showed me on
There's a hockey puck
And my
right there.
dad said
There's a
you
what?
can't go out and
Look,
run,
there's
it'll be
a
really
hockey
dark.
puck.
It will be dark, but eventually it will get light in the morning, and I can go back out and run. But that's my
From
story.
where?
What?
From where?
I run outside.
What were you running from?
I wasn't running from anything. I just like to run. Actually, you know what I do when I run? I talk to God when I run. Did you know that?
You taught a what?
I talk to God when I run.
Oh.
I listen to Christian music while I run.
Doesn't everyone do
And
that?
I don't know that everyone does that.
My dad goes during walks.
Yep. So
My dad listens to
I talk to God while I'm
podcasts.
running, and I listen to Christian music, and it's a good time to clear my head. That's the time that I use to talk to
It's
God.
similar to, but except my mom just walks and she talks to God in her.
Yep, see? Everyone has a different way they do it, and it's okay.
Okay.
All right,
Hey,
let's.
you're not even wrong. You just do it.
These are golf balls. These are golf balls. This is a putter. Okay, and when I was a kid, I used to play a lot of golf, okay? And in golf, your goal is to get the ball into a little hole. Oh, Mariah. Okay, water hazard. All right, so your goal in golf is to get the ball into a little hole. And every time you use one of these sticks called a golf club to hit the ball towards the hole, that counts as a stroke. Okay, and you want to get the ball into the hole with the least, oh, that was on the other side. You want to get the ball into the hole with the least amount of strokes. That's your goal. Is it good? Oh, so close. Okay, I'll try again in a minute. So when you're golfing, Jackson, those are mine, don't touch them. Sit down. So when you're golfing, you have a goal. And it is good to get the ball into the hole.
Why? Because you get money?
Because that's how you can win the game when you're playing against other people. Okay? And I went to church. Okay, now I planned to go to church, and I knew who Jesus was in my head. Just like I knew all the rules to golf. I knew Jesus in my head. And I knew what he did. I knew how Jesus died on the cross for my sins. And I knew how he had his Last Supper. I knew how he told everyone that they should have communion and remember him. And I knew about him being born in a stable, and I knew about the shepherds, and I knew about the wise man, and I knew about who else did I know about? I knew about Daniel, and I knew about David, and I knew about all the miracles Jesus did, and I knew about like the Good Samaritan and the stories Jesus told. And I knew it all in my head, okay? And you know what else I knew in my head? Just like I knew the rules of golf, okay, I knew in golf that I couldn't pick up the ball and I couldn't roll it like this, because that's against the rules. And I knew some of the rules in the Bible. And I thought that if I could follow all the rules in the Bible and be like really good at following the rules, that's how I was going to get to heaven. I thought, if I can be like Jesus the best that I can and follow all of his rules, I thought I could get to heaven. And that's the way I understood Jesus.
How old are you?
This was when I was like a kid. I was not in college yet. So then I went to college, okay? And I played golf while I was in college. That was my sport. Okay, so I went to this club. And it was called Fellowship. Oh, it might just not want to go in that too because there's a lip there. And I went to this club called the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Has anyone ever heard of that? Move out of the way.
Yeah.
Okay, so I went to this club, and you know what Miss Leah and Miss Sarah did? They shared their testimonies, okay? And that's what I'm doing right now. And there were these two big guys there that were not on the golf team. They were on the football team. And they were brothers, and they were twins. And they got up there one night, and they shared their testimony about how they became Christians. And they explained how you can know about Jesus in your mind. Okay, don't touch my golf balls. They're mine. Okay, so these boys, okay, these young men, big football player guys, because it's fellowship of not golf players, but athletes. And they're big tough guys. And they shared about how the difference they said between going to heaven and not going to heaven with Jesus, they said, is a foot. And I was listening to them. And they said, you can know about Jesus in your mind, and you can know about who he is and all the things that he did, but they said, it's in your heart that matters. And you can't earn your way into heaven by being really smart. You can't know all the rules in the Bible, and you can't sink every rule like a hole in one. I almost went in there. You can't do that. That is not what's going to get you into heaven. You can't be the best rule follower in the world and get to heaven. The only way that I learned to get to heaven is Jesus gets you into heaven because of the blood that he shed on the cross. And that you have to take that message of Jesus' blood for you into your heart. And at that moment, I realized that I was trying to get into heaven myself. That I thought that I could be good enough to get into heaven myself, and I was wrong. Because there's no way that I could ever follow Jesus's and God's rules good enough to earn my way. The only one who's good enough is Jesus. And he paid the price for me on the cross. And then that was when I said, Jesus, I want that. I believe that you made the way for me, and I trust you that you are going to get me to heaven, not me, because I couldn't do it myself. So that's what I learned, and it was because of golf. Because of golf, I went to Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and I hung around with other people who understood what it means to follow Jesus better than I did, and now I'm at the point where I can share with other people. Isn't that cool?